What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and I don't know how, but somehow, some way, I missed out on a very important detail from the Bob Saget case that I want to highlight here for you all. When I was looking through the final report, I didn't really pay attention to the fact that there was no mention of his suitcases and his luggage in the final report. Now, you might remember that when the story was first brought to us, when they first announced that Bob Saget passed away, one of the main details that they highlighted in the beginning when all of this happened was that his bags were already packed and by the door. So this final report said nothing about those bags or anything else belonging to Bob Saget, and I didn't pay attention to that fact. Now, you might think, oh, that's not a big deal, but I want you to hold on and wait a second and hear me out here. So nowhere in the final report was there any mention of these bags. So when I was making my last video, I made my last video about the fact that a lot of these media outlets are now running with this story that there was some secret health issues that Bob Saget was dealing with. And in my last video, I told you all that was BS, but I forgot to mention the fact that the plan was for that video that I had a few of these news articles brought up, and I was going to read them to you all and talk to you about whatever these secret health issues might be. But nowhere in those news articles did they really say anything about those secret health issues. It was really just a misleading headline, which is something that the media does often. They put out these misleading headlines, and once you actually click on it and read into the news article, you realize that there's nothing there of substance. Half the time they'll just go over the whole case and things that you already knew about and really say nothing that has anything to do with this headline that would catch your eye. But they know how people operate. Often people will read a headline and they'll just go right along with it. And the narrative will shift to, oh, Bob Saget had these secret health issues, even though they themselves couldn't even provide any evidence of this within the articles, nothing. So I didn't read those articles in that video because the articles literally said nothing or had anything to do with the headline. They just want the headlines out there that Bob Saget may have been dealing with these secret health issues, but this is just something that they really brought up out of thin air. There's nothing to back it up, and the articles don't even say anything about it. But in one of those articles, it caught my attention that, oh, it turns out the reason that I didn't see anything about the luggage and the packages or the baggage inside of this final report is because some of the information that was blocked, we all know that the judge ruled to permanently block a lot of the information from this investigation and the autopsy from coming to the public. Part of the information that is blocked is what Bob Saget had with him in that hotel room. Information about his belongings are blocked from coming out to the media. So this final report was hardly a final report at all. There was just a few details in the final report, just a few tidbits of information. It started off with, basically detailing the fact that he had an adjoining room and that room door was unlocked. I already reacted to that. And then it was just them speculating that, oh, well, now we think he slipped and fell and hit his head on the carpet. There was nothing that they could really provide us with except for some eyewitness accounts who had talked to Bob Saget that day. They included those accounts in the final report, but they couldn't really give us any information. And part of the information that was blocked from coming out was information about Bob Saget's belongings and what he had with him in that room and what they found in that room. Now, that strikes me as extremely odd, because if Bob Saget's in the room and he just has a couple of, suitcases full of clothes or whatever, then it shouldn't be a big deal. But you see, how can I put this? I mean, it's obvious that if they want to block these items from coming out, if they want to block information from coming out about the items Bob Saget had with him, there's something that Bob Saget had in his possession or in that room that they don't want people to know about. Now, we know he had over the counter medicine in the room, and that's not a big deal. We know the toxicology report came back and there was nothing in the system. So it's not like he was hiding illegal substances. At least I would, think that's not the case because he had a clean system. And I mean, it's obvious they wouldn't want to just block information about his suitcases from coming out unless they thought that might be a hint at something that was up and something was weird there. And I'll get to that in a moment. But there's obviously something in this room with Bob Saget that they don't want getting out. I don't think it's illegal substances because, he was clean. And I don't think it would, why would they care if people know that he had luggage in the room with him? Obviously, we would assume he had a suitcase or a bag with some clothes. So why did they block the details about what he had with him from coming out? Did he have something embarrassing with him? That's a possibility. Maybe he had something that would be embarrassing or what they would deem as embarrassing. And that's why they didn't want to come out. That's why they didn't want it to come out. I mean, there's been a few celebrity deaths that were deemed as, they offed themselves and, they ended their own lives. When in reality, they kind of, for lack of better words, they died while whacking off in a weird way. Like, they died while pleasuring themselves. There's been a few celebrities, and you might not even know this. Some of the celebrities that you thought off themselves, really, they actually died while trying to pleasure themselves in some weird ways. I don't want to get into the details. We're all adults here. I'm sure some of you all know what I'm talking about, and I'm not sure, who you all are watching this video with, so let's just not get into the details of that. But maybe there's something embarrassing that Bob Saget had with him that they don't want to come out, but I think it's something different. Maybe they just don't want to talk about the suitcases at all, because early on in the case, I brought up the fact that I thought it was extremely weird that Bob Saget's bags were packed and by the door. Because the timing of everything, he didn't have that much time, and I don't know. I know Bob Saget plays more of a neat freak on Full House, but that's not who he is in real life. I'm not saying he isn't a neat freak or he's not. I don't feel like Bob Saget's the type of guy that has all of his things together and ready to go by the door. But then again, I don't know Bob Saget. But it just seemed weird because of the timing of everything. Like, he drives all the way to this hotel in the middle of the night, hours away from where he performed at. And he wasn't in the room for terribly too long before he supposedly died. So I just don't believe that his bags were packed in by the door. He didn't even make it to the hotel until very late at night, or early in the morning, you might say. What was it, 2-something in the morning? His time of death was 4 in the morning, and his last Twitter post was like 3-something in the morning. It just seems like this room was like almost not lived in-ish as well, because they said they found no hairs in the bathroom, so that would indicate that he probably didn't even take a shower or anything in the bathroom. Bags are packed and ready by the door. He's staying at a hotel hours away from where he performed. He drove all the way there at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning. It's just all really weird. And seeing as it now that they're blocking the details about these items from coming out, I just want to know what items were in that room. Possibly were some of the items in that room, do they not even really belong to Bob Saget, and that's why they don't want the details to come out? Because we would question, well, that's weird. Why would Bob Saget carry a baseball bat with him? Why would Bob Saget carry this with him? There could be things that were in that room that would raise suspicions. And maybe some people might believe that they didn't even belong to Bob Saget. Who knows? But it is very obvious that whatever Bob Saget had with him, or whatever they found in that room that supposedly belonged to Bob Saget, they don't want that out there in the public. So this blocking of details from coming out about this investigation, I told you all from the beginning, it's not just about pictures and videos of Bob Saget dead. It's about the information and the details surrounding his death. Never have I looked through a final report into an investigation from someone's death that provided this little information. It was nothing there in this final report. It was almost laughable. Joke, like, literally. I giggled while looking at it because I'm just like, what in the hell? Why did y'all even put this out? Why? When it's obvious that they were having to, cut corners and limit what they said. To the point that the report, they don't even know at the conclusion of the report, they still don't even really know what happened to him, they say. They just think he slipped and fell on a carpet. So who knows what these items were? I want to hear from you all. What do you think these items may have been? I got some things in mind. I don't want to speculate too much here because that can be dangerous. I don't want to, I don't want to be the cause of any rumors or anything, but there's something that was in that room they don't want getting out there. Or maybe just the details about how things were placed. That's something we have to ponder too. It might not necessarily be the items that were there, but the placement of said items. There's the devil is in the details. You know what I mean? So there's some details here that could be pieced together by these items or something that would be highly suspect to the public, and that's why it is blocked, in my honest opinion. Why else? Why else even include that in the things that you don't want out there in the public? But like I said, I want to hear your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and as always, find some time out of your day to go watch a movie.